Welcome back to Nonsense, I'm Chris, and let's get right into the new Rick and Morty Season 9 trailer. So first, this is obviously a direct reference to the opening scene of the series. In 9 seasons, Rick has gone from drunkenly pulling Morty out of bed to destroy the entire planet, to pulling Morty out of bed way too early to go train. Crazy juxtaposition there. This scene of them doing dancing, I think, is also from this episode. This Do Not Disturb door has the number 820 on top. It's probably just a random room number, but I did try looking it up to no avail. Inside, we can see some kind of vat on top of 4 barrels, so maybe he's brewing something? Kinda curious what Rick would be brewing. When Morty's getting pulled up by the magnet, presumably because he ate something with metal? The motorcycle is clearly at least based on, if not in universe, supposed to actually be a Harley Davidson Springer Softail, which for all intents and purposes is a collector's item, so the display would make sense. Maybe we're gonna get Biker Rick this season? When he hands the phone to Jerry, the caller ID says Locksmith? Why a locksmith called Rick's phone to speak to Jerry, I don't know, but obviously it has something to do with this. The scene where Beth and Summer are fighting the couch is also from that same episode, based on the blue-eyed Jerry, and it's the same episode as when they literally play The Floor is Lava based on Beth's shield. I'm kind of thinking they're making an episode out of just a bunch of inventions and backup plans Rick made that he forgot about, which is kind of a great premise. The tree they get manhandled by is clearly stationary, so between that and the style, it's either a reference to Grandmother Willow from Pocahontas or the apple trees from The Wizard of Oz, probably the latter. Rick gets Ty-lead by martial arts master, Boob World hat here of course, but we see more of the martial arts guy at the end when he still seems to be kicking Rick's ass. So this might be one of those times like with Nimbus that he's just gonna get the shit kicked out of him. But we also see him chilling with the fam at the pool party in the cannonball shot, which reminds me of this.
20 people try to kill me every week. I end up getting high with half of them.
Then when Morty's talking to the monkey caveman looking people, there's one of these tearaway flyers for a pile of poop. Call if you're interested in poop, I guess. When the ship crashes and scrapes on the road into the garage, I had assumed it was someone other than Rick driving, but upon slowing and zooming, no, it's Rick, so I'm curious why he suddenly can't drive. Again in the ship, here I think they're traversing the space between dimensions again, like at the beginning of season 6, because this does not look like anything that could exist in a normal physical universe, but I doubt they'll be bringing portal travel down again, so maybe Rick is traveling outside of the central finite curve himself? We could assume to meet up with the evil Morty, but it could be for something else, or maybe they're just traveling to some other type of dimension or universe that they can't reach with portal travel? Here, clearly the house is under lockdown like we've seen before, but Rick is using this laser that destroys the satellite later to, I think, break through the lockdown? So the question is why? It's either this is another Rick's house, or the lockdown is malfunctioning somehow. Maybe the Diane AI is being crazy again? It seems to lead to this scene, which you can tell from the background is clearly taking place in the same lockdown garage. Maybe this all has something to do with the same episode with the malfunctioning house stuff. And finally, this awesome looking giant spider with liquid sloshing around its insides. I think it might be from the same episode that this scene takes place in with all the locked up insects. This dude has like a pill on his jacket in that scene, so maybe they're using the insects to make some kind of drug? Rick also robot arms this chick away from him, and Space Beth awesomely tosses him a knife that he grabs before lunging after her. But that's the last detail I caught. Leave anything I missed in the comments and make sure to subscribe, because I'm going to be breaking down each episode the same night it releases once season 9 starts, aiming to get the breakdowns out the very next morning. Right now I'm working on episode 10 of my Rick and Morty full series breakdown, as well as the next new American Dad episode breakdown. Kinda seems like nobody liked the Family Guy corrections video, so I'll be dropping that. But I am definitely breaking down the Smiling Friends series finale that's coming out tomorrow night. I'm sad and really excited. So subscribe if you love animated comedies, and I'll see you in the next video.
Season 9, baby. Only an indefinite number more.